about 2.5 years ago, I started picking up food donations from the mission up in Eugene. It's a great little coincidence, I guess, that led me to it. I was looking for a place to live, and I answered this ad on Craigslist. Someone was looking for a gardener to like come and rent, and we got along great, but the living situation ended up not working out because he had some relatives move to town instead. But he told me, he's like, I can help you out with Food Box, because he goes every Sunday morning to Whole Foods and he picks up the food donation and brings it to the mission. And so he offered to grab me a food box every week, which I was very grateful for. I really needed it. And then, you know, he's like, well, if you know people that also need food, I can bring you a little extra. I said, yes, please, that would be great. So I started sharing with my neighbors. And then, you know, I told him, you know, I have lots of families actually that could really use the help. And he said, you know, why don't you just come to the mission with me? You know, just meet me at the mission on Sunday morning and you can pack up whatever boxes. And so I started doing that, and I ended up like I would make like 2 trips. I'd get, you know, load up, I'd go stock up the little free pantry that was in the Whitaker neighborhood. I'd stop at a few tents, you know, that were scattered throughout the neighborhood, stop at neighbors' houses. That's how I met Timothy and Amy, and so I started bringing them food boxes, and then it just started growing. And so that I would do that with the first trip, and then with the second trip I would load up and bring food down to Cottage Grove and distribute to families that I knew were in need, people who were stuck at home in quarantine from COVID, people just, you know, so many of us need food. And then Timothy and Amy were like, well, we know tons of people, like bring extra if you can. And so I started bringing them extra, and more and more every week. And finally I was like, you know, why don't you just come to the mission? And so they came to the mission with me and realized just the sheer quantity of food that was going through there, that because the problem was they didn't have any organization to like distribute it on Sundays. So they get these huge loads of food from Trader Joe's and from Whole Foods, and a lot of the stuff is stuff that really needs to be used within a day or two. So some of it was ending up in the trash because there just weren't people to come get it and distribute it and bring it to the people who needed it. And so they and the folks at the mission have been so good to us. They're so happy that we're helping distribute this food now. So anyway, I brought Timothy over to the mission, and we're loading up the food boxes to take over to his place, and he sees this like cart of food going by. He's like, well, where is that going? I'm like, probably the trash, or to the hog farms. And he says, we can't let that happen anymore. And so he and Amy started just bringing all of it with Charlie's truck. Well, first with a pickup, and then with Charlie's box truck, and bringing all of that food out in front of their home and distributing it there in Eugene. And then that eventually got too big for that little parking lot there, and so they partnered with Olivium to do it in their parking lot. And it's really kind of beautiful. It's like we planted this little seed, and Olivium really like made it blossom. You know, they're now a Food for Lane County food bank. They're the only food bank I think in town that's open on Sundays, and they have their own like free market, you know, started, and it's really beautiful. And so we finally in May this year have like the infrastructure to bring a free market here to Cottage Grove, and I feel so grateful to be surrounded by such a wonderful community of people that want to like help make this happen, and just seeing all these people stepping up and helping each other, and we're all people who need help ourselves, and that I think is what makes it really beautiful for one, and also like more sustainable, because it's truly mutual aid. It's those of us who have struggled the most that are able to help the most and willing to help the most, because we know what it's like, you know, and if there's anything we can do to help someone else not go through that, we will do that. And they're my community members, and even though they might need my help, like sometimes I need their help, you know, and they need each other's help, and I see them helping each other, and it's really beautiful. It's really rewarding.